I'm Alvin.
And I'm Jeremey, and you're watching Fantasy Football Mayhem.
Let's do this. This week's question comes from Nick Bonnet. He's in a 10-team keeper league. He gets to keep 2 players, and it's a half-point per reception. He has the following players: Rashard Mendenhall, Felix Jones, Hakeem Nicks, and Jermichael Finley. Both me and Jeremy are in agreement that the people to keep here are Rashard Mendenhall in the 11th round and Jermichael Finley in the 12th round. Go ahead and tell them why.
Yeah, I just feel like Dallas's run game is too unstable to take Felix Jones there. I know he's only losing a 14th round pick, so it's really losing nothing. Their O-line just doesn't look that great to me. I think they're going to be a pass-happy team. And then Hakeem Nicks, I'm not going for all the hype. They still have Smith and Manningham there.
I'm a Smith lover myself.
Yeah, and the ball's going to be spread around a lot there. The person I would take is definitely Jermichael Finley. I think he's Aaron Rodgers' security blanket. He definitely gets the receptions there, and he's currently being drafted in the 7th round in a 10-team league.
So the value there at 12 is
he's
awesome.
Loses his 12th round pick for that.
Because you're no-brainer, you're going to keep Rashard Mendenhall. So I mean,
especially for the 11th.
I mean, the 11th round, you're getting him early. You don't really need to keep Felix Jones. That's just a little bit too much to keep there, I think so. Rashard Mendenhall and Jermichael Finley. Those are that's who we're going with.
Definitely.
I know stand, yeah, and that's why they call me bad company. I can't deny.
Do our top 10 quarterbacks here, and then we'll get on to some other quarterbacks outside the top 10 that you may want to look for a little bit later. I'll start off here. At number 10, I have Carson Palmer. Last time Palmer was a top 10 quarterback was in 2007, and he had Ocho Cinco, Hushmanzada, Chris Henry as wide receivers. Then in 2008, he had the elbow injury, and he missed most of the year. And the beginning of 2009, he had an ankle injury, missed a lot of training camp. He just didn't have enough time to keep in sync with his receivers. They had Cotry last year, didn't do much for him. This year, they went out and got some weapons for Palmer. They went and drafted Shipley. They picked up Owens and Bryant and Matt Jones. So it looks like they're setting Palmer up to have a decent year, and I can see him getting back in the top 10 this year. So I'm going to put him at 10 right now. We'll see how he does from there.
Yeah, definitely. Number 10, I had Eli Manning. I know that aside from last year, he hasn't normally been in the top 10 fantasy-wise, but I'm really buying into his receivers. I like all of them, even deep, they're getting deeper every year with the receivers, and I'm not really that confident in Bradshaw or Jacobs. I mean, they're good backs. I still think they're going to throw a lot this year, and even if they don't throw as much as they did last year, I think Eli is going to be effective enough to be in the top 10. He was almost top 10 last year.
Yeah, and that new guy Cruz they got is looking good.
Yeah, he was looking good. Yeah. You know, he finished number 11 last year. Eli did. So I mean, I think he'll get in the top 10 this year. So.
Okay, at number 9, I have Brett Favre.
At number 9, I have Joe Flacco. He's got a huge arm. He's mobile. I mean, he can run it in from the goal line. His rookie year, he had 2 touchdowns. He was hurt the second half of last year. That was part of his problem. I mean, he started off throwing a pretty decent value for a quarterback, and then towards the end of the year, he kind of took a decline. But they had like a league low. They threw 31% inside the 10-yard line last year. I think that number's going to go up this year, so I think his touchdown totals go up. I mean, they got Bolden now, and and Stallworth.
And he's 6'6" quarterback.
Exactly. Definitely. So I mean, I think his touchdowns inside the 10-yard line go up this year. And last year, his average touchdown pass was 25 yards. And that was only second behind Tom Brady. So I see big things for Flacco.
Definitely. Number 8, I have Jay Cutler.
At number 8, I have Jay Cutler. I like Jay Cutler. I mean, I had him in our league last year. Our league didn't count interceptions, so that was pretty awesome. I enjoyed that. But even with the interceptions, I mean, in the standard league, Jay Cutler was still a pretty quality starter every week. last year. He also has a big arm. His receivers, he's got some speedy receivers, definitely. I buy into the Mike Martz fantasy value anyway. I mean, he turned John Kitna into a top 5 fantasy quarterback. Jay Cutler's a better quarterback than John Kitna. I think his receivers have a big coming out party this year. So
yeah, I can see that. At number 7, I have Tom Brady.
At number 7, I have Phillip Rivers.
Number 6, I have Phillip Rivers.
That's cool. At number 6, I have your boy Brady. I know how much you like him.
Now, number 5, I have Peyton Manning.
I've got Matt Schaub at 5, so.
Now, number 4, I have Tony Romo. He finished 6th amongst quarterbacks last year, and Austin didn't emerge till midseason. So I think he would have finished a little higher if he would have had Austin as a weapon the whole year. They also went out and drafted Bryant, so you could tell they're going to pass the ball. They want to get the ball down the field. Their O-line needs to hold up a little bit better, I think. Romo's will be rushed a lot, but I definitely see his numbers improving. I could see him having a record year for him personally. So.
Yeah. At number 3, I have Aaron Rodgers.
Number 3, I have Matt Schaub.
At number 2, I have Peyton Manning.
Number 2, I have Drew Brees.
And number 1, I have Drew Brees.
Number 1, I have Aaron Rodgers. He was a top fantasy quarterback last year. He will remain on top, in my opinion. This guy's a durable quarterback. I think their O-line improves. He does it on the ground. He's had 9 rushing touchdowns the past 2 years. 5 of them were last year. He's had 58 passing touchdowns the past 2 years, and he's a very consistent quarterback, and he's a guy you can count on every week.
Well, I don't disagree with any particular point you got there. I guess the only reason I don't have him at number 1 or 2 is because I just trust the offensive line of both the Colts and the Saints. And you know, we were talking earlier about the sacks that Aaron Rodgers takes. I mean, I don't want to own him and have him go out on me. So I mean,
yeah, I hear you.